All right,
For
hi everybody.
chaos.
Yeah, for chaos
Okay.
indeed. Welcome to Materia D&D, where we play Dungeons and Dragons our way, and we are on session 91. Yeah, still in Green Hill. However, Green Hill is a changing. Green Hill is a warping. Green Hill is
Shooting up in the
well,
sky.
let's put it. The Hag's plan is finally coming into I don't want to say reality, but it's finally becoming evident of like some of the effects that the Hag's plan is having. The Menagerie spent much of their time trying to figure out, piece together what the plan of the Covenant of Covens was. They knew how to do something with bringing back their matron, a long banished, powerful deity known as the Hag Mother. I actually do believe that they got some fairly detailed lore on her. However, it's not important right now. The Menagerie were working with their allies inside Green Hill, most prominently and most notably with Essos and his crew. Essos being their Dragonborn thief, underground leader kind of type individual that would typically cut and run. However, he was invested into Green Hill, which later, as the sessions have played on in last session, there was kind of revealed that there was a reason for his, you know, inability to will himself to leave and change in perspective and wanting to protect and help the people. The Menagerie had the plan on the day that they were on, that when the sun was at the highest point in the day, that would be the signal to get the people that would listen to them via the messages spread by Essos and his crew over the last day and evening, that it would be time to leave Green Hill to evacuate. Uh, the message seemingly did get out. However, uh, the hooks of the hags were already put in place. And um, as the sun was about an hour or so away from reaching the highest point, the Menagerie saw the sun begin to descend from the sky, to begin to be snuffed out and replaced by darkness, to be illuminated by this darkness to be illuminated by a pale, cold light of a full harvest moon that shifted over time into a blue, from its golden color to this blue, a blue that they've seen on a few occasions. The crystals from the mill, the chalk that was growing crystals within the symbols in Green Hill. They struck out against this tree that was in the location known as the Central Bounty. A tree that originally was probably about 20 or 30 feet tall, a beautiful oak that had welled and become a gargantuan uh, tree of 150, maybe more feet tall, dwarfing anything in the area, and reaching towards the sky. Oh, sorry, holy wrath was thrown upon it, as well as magical lightning, damaging the tree. However, this seemed to disturb another aspect of the Hag's plans, which was in this slow dissemination and creation of mounds and mounds of this magically infused, rotting, energy released compost heaps. Something that went fairly unnoticed for the majority of the time here, but then once they realized what it was, its potential, uh, it actually did spring to life. And these compost guardians essentially came up and started attacking the menagerie. They were able to dispatch of them. Dregnar is filthy at this point, and upon landing the final blow on one of these guardians, the menagerie began to feel the shifts and the quakes in the ground beneath them. And then they looked off to the distance, and that's essentially where we're going to pick up. Uh, with the conclusion of the last session's encounter. Does anybody have any questions? Oh, I should also say that's actually one that I forgot. Speaking of the hooks, when the moonlight shined its pale light upon everybody in town, the menagerie were unaffected. However, individuals that had called Green Hill home, they began to almost be brainwashed to go into like a zombie-like state. Essentially, the symbol of the harvest, the fishhook and scythe, manifested. Um, Looking most closely, you would see that it was in their pupils, but I would also imagine that some sort of corona of the symbol manifested and showing like this mental lock, this almost like crown of control upon every individual. One thing was that the Sun Cleric said he did cast his dawn upon the tree, and it was revealed that sunlight seems to neutralize this effect. However, it could only reach so far, and the moment that the dawn spell was, well, lost, almost like, a mixed signal, eventually jittery actions and motions cause the individuals to fall back under the sway of this pale blue light. As the city, as Green Hill began to kind of quake and shift, and there's a sense of like where you're going up on an elevator way too fast for the menagerie. They looked up, and there was the reflection of the city on the moon. However, fissures and cracks had begun to sort of form across it, and that is actually where we left off, if I remember correctly. So, anybody got any questions, concerns, need some clarification before we get into this? Session 90. Okay. Let's get some appropriate music. Where is this one? Okay. So, with the numerous large mounds of compost that were essentially being the followers of the Mother Bounty were instructed to start placing throughout town. There were the 6 or 8, I can't really recall at this time, just mounds that have gained sentience and attacked y'all, kind of dispersed and kind of across the ground, the roots of the oversized tree as one of the branches begins to just kind of sway in the wind and from the tectonic movement below foot, and you hear the twisting, cracking of the barks, and this large, hundreds and hundreds of pounds of branch tumbling down, crashes on the ground, but 20 feet away from y'all. Uh, what's up, guys? What y'all doing?
As Dregnor wipes gunk off of him, he looks at Al and goes, "Prestidigitation, please."
Sure. And
Uh,
as I was casting that, he's gonna look to Sedge and say, I think there's something wrong with your soup this morning. Um, Today's gotten really weird, and it just keeps getting weirder. I
hmm.
don't like it,
Things are definitely weird, so that's not out of the normal.
but it's not normal. Oh god.
Yeah, nothing about what we're seeing right now is normal.
Yeah, look, you guys feel the shaking, right?
I'm gonna point towards the orb that's cracking in the sky. Something is coming.
Uh, I would say Davis, Rock, Rock, and Al. As he points up and y'all look and you look at the fissures, go ahead and give me a perception check, the three of you.
With advantage, my total is a 8.
Okay.
I'm gonna harness divine power before anything starts happening
Oh
for
wait.
a second level spell slot. Put my hand
You
up
still have
dagger
that?
real
Okay.
quick.
All right.
Mark off your channel divinity and get divine
The
power.
hallucination was wisdom's, right?
Yes,
Wisdom.
it is a
Wisdom.
disadvantage for you. Yes, Al. Thank you.
Shit. Okay. Should have said anything.
I have one more charge of harness divine
12.
power, by the way.
12. Okay. And then Rock, if you're here, can you roll me a wisdom save? Wisdom perception check. Sorry. But if not, I'll probably ask somebody to roll a d20 for him.
You said perception?
Yes.
Perception. Yes, please.
13.
13. Okay, so the highest of you was 13. So Rock, as Sej is kind of pointing out to the harvest moon as it begins to kind of fissure and that reflection, there's something uncomfortably familiar as you start focusing and looking at it. You're seeing it's not it's not the reflection of Green Hill or the superimposed image of Green Hill. It's the twisting labyrinth that is the unformed maze as you're looking up at it.
So that's in the like the face of the moon. We see that, or Rock sees
Yeah,
that, I
so
should
like
say.
the moon, imagine like the moon, it's still the moon texture, but imagine like a very polished, like, steel bearing of ball, right?
Gotcha.
When you look at it, you look at the reflection. It's up in the sky, it's huge, and you look at it, and it looks like there's a green hills being kind of like reflected. But then Rock, you're just looking at it and seeing it, and you're seeing the labyrinth and the library just barely making it out, and you're seeing that odd green, blue, teal colorization. And then as you look
Uh,
across the surface, you're starting to see those fissures.
when you say the labyrinth and the library, like from the maze?
Yes, from the unformed maze. You're the one that points it out. Basically, whoever got the highest perception roll out of the three of you was the one that's going to recognize it.
Guys, we're like, remember when we went where we shouldn't have gone?
More
Yeah, I see that.
specific.
Which time? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the maze, yeah.
Oh yeah. The
Remember with the books and the weird guy, and then there were the creepy spirits and
Ragnar, Sej, and Karos, they are speaking a language you have never heard.
like literally speaking a language we've never heard, or just talking about things that they don't know.
No, no, no. You guys, the three of you, words are
Oh,
coming
we're
out of your
speaking
mouth.
in. I know. Okay, I got it.
Oh
Yes.
shit. Yeah,
You
see,
guys
I
are
don't like talking
speaking
about the
it.
maze.
Yes.
I scratch my
too
beard.
bad. Real bad. This is it. This is the thing that they
Well,
were
that
supposed
was
to stopping.
actually. What's funny? Are we speaking all in the telepathic bond? Because we are telepathic bond.
Oh, I don't know. That's actually sorry. If this, I was imagining this was verbal. So when you got the three of you, when you speak verbal right now, you can only speak
I
Mechanic.
I do because I'm panicking.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Then I would
Mentally,
follow suit. Yeah.
yeah,
Same.
because of the way that the spell works, if you guys do speak mentally, it's automatically translated, right? Like it's
Fair enough.
so. But yeah,
All you get from my thoughts mentally is holy crap, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, holy
that
crap.
works. Yes.
Yeah, that would. Wait, the unformed maze is where things go after when they die, right? Like, maybe that's where the hag mother is gonna come from? Shit. Like, would she have been in there?
Friends, you're
Well, she's-
speaking in tongues.
I reach over and pinch Davis.
Yeah, Davis, you feel the solid his claws dig in and pinch your skin.
Yeah.
Do you react at all? I'm just like, hey, we didn't just die, did we?
Oh, you pinched me like just a normal pinch. I thought it was more like a clap on the shoulder type pinch.
No.
Oh yeah, no, I feel that. What?
Okay, I don't know. Maybe we died.
Also, and then I'll respond to Sej. I'll be like, "What do you mean? We're talking. What are you talking about?"
If it's verbal, then it's just
Yep, absolutely verbal.
Yeah, just blah.
But I understand him, I assume.
Yes.
Oh,
So
okay.
you guys, it's whatever you three say
Gotcha.
because of your exposure and in the proximity, it's causing you to just only be able to say it out loud.
I'll give him the Chris Tucker. Like, do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
And
And just staring.
I'm gonna squint at you slowly, be like, I don't know what you're saying, friend. You're speaking in tongues.
I'm gonna
I've
think
never
in
heard
the
this language
bond,
before.
like literally speaking tongues.
There we go. Because it's mental, as you hear him, I am speaking, literally speaking tongues. So
I'm
mentally,
gonna snap to it and thinking mentally, yes, I don't understand a word of what you're saying at all.
And then I'll just speak out loud. That's weird. But you see me look
Again.
like, you see me look like kind of just confused and like unnerved.
What's Pebble doing? Pebble, Pebble?
Pebbles with you, if I recall correctly. So
She's just on me? Okay.
yeah,
Um,
she was harrying one of the things, and then when it would splat it, she landed back on your shoulder.
do we, like, are we entering into it, or do I just see it off and then, like,
Go ahead and give me an Arcana check. See, these are the questions.
what
Good
kind of check?
Arcana.
Arcana.
Oh, 25 total.
Okay, okay.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's knowledge domain.
Yep.
Yeah, oh, okay, carrying its weight here.
Which I know that's
Okay.
only like a medium roll for you too.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was a 13.
Yep.
yeah. So this is so Rock very quickly pacing pinching Davis, seeing okay, no, he's alive. The three of us are only able to speak or in tongues. Maze can't. Our friends are fine. We're looking right. You're feeling turbulence. It's not. You know that at least what you believe is that the hags are here to harvest the people and to get enough potential energy or filter through enough soul or something to be able to possibly rip their mother back into this existence. The maze is the well of potential energy. It's the souls go. Like they're literally bringing a portion of the maze here to just start sucking and siphoning. And that's what you're looking at. You're looking at just this little object that represents an infinitesimally small piece of the maze, but you know what the maze is. It is where the dead that are not, where the souls of the dead that do not get intervened by their deities or some greater force go directly to. This is literally going to be just sucking everyone up there, but probably the hags have a way to divert that energy.
I explain that to the group quickly, and I'm looking around frantically to see if I see souls getting sucked up or hags doing evil things or just anything.
Question.
So,
Question. Do
go
you
ahead.
explain it verbally or do you explain it across the bond?
I am full on panic mode, so I'm rapid fire
Words.
talking.
Yeah. Okay, so again, Al and Davis, you understand him. Dregnar says, Karos, duh-huh.
Yeah, I will
He's
like
possessed.
look at Al and then look at the rest of them, like kind of almost being like an interpreter across the bond as best I can, kind of just repeating as you go like into the bond, which may give Rock a bit of a weird like mental echo, but that's funny. Whatever.
So, since Rock, as you said, am I seeing soul? That'll be good enough. Everybody, go ahead and uh, give me perception checks as you just feel the shake. You look up, you start kind of looking around, just naturally trying to assess the situation. Al at disadvantage because of your hallucinogenic state.
Oh yeah.
22 perception.
Yeah, Dregnar, you're so busy from jumping and grabbing someone that was falling and kind of placing them down and going over to the next person. You're more concerned with just trying to help people from starting to like slide and fall off as you kind of realize that the ground beneath you is starting to fissure and crack and start getting kind of pulled. And in this odd um, juxtaposition, it's actually the roots of the enormous tree that are keeping y'all from possibly going higher up into the ground or into the air. Oh, wow, almost all of you noticed this. Uh, So Pebbles, who am I missing? Al, Rock, Dave. Yeah, so anyone that's above a 20, so not Al, sorry. So Rock, Davis, and Sej. Karos, if you wanted to roll a perception check, you can.
Certainly. Visual or
Visual,
audible?
visual. Well, actually, it'd be kind of both, but just let me know if if it's advantage for visual, then I'll keep that in mind.
Okay.
I mean, mine's
So
advantage.
yeah, visual. I'm
Okay.
stunned.
Yeah, it's this whole. You were just recently kind of you had to fight your way out and everything. Yeah. So Sej, Davis, and Rock. As you're Rock, you're still you're the most aware of it just because you're telling the information, and you instinctively look over and see Saj, you being perceptive and kind of concerned that your son is not there. You're trying to put in any detail to try to figure out what's going on, and just Davis, tactfully taking in the situation. Um, as the ground's kind of shifting, y'all are not, as the picture shows, you're not necessarily floating up yet. There's you start seeing like pieces of the ground, such kind of little chunks, maybe, the size of like a basketball or a little bit larger. Maybe like the largest would be like a proper fridge at someone's home, start lifting and floating up. Um, throughout from what your perspective is, and it's a little cut off, but there are points where you can see that pale blue, teal, green light just start to, and then out in the distance you just hear screams kind of echoing through. And Sej, you start kind of picking up that there's like little, almost motes of energy, little wispy like things starting to very slowly start traveling up into the night sky. Just only a few at right now.
What about the people who are around the former zombies, maybe current zombies as well? What are we?
They got basically, once the dawn spell went away. The ones that are,
But what are they doing right now?
they're starting to like kind of get up from their stun state and just start kind of moving like aimlessly in some sort of direction. Uh, I'll say give it to you. They're starting to kind of turn and essentially move back towards what would possibly be the closest direction to the next compost heap.
Adam, the little wisp, are they going up into the air or are they going in a direction like not?
Pretty sure they're going towards like the glowing ball.
Yes. Besides,
Well,
you
well, I
see
was
them.
just because you had said that they're possible. I know it's out of game, but we could possibly follow that if it diverts, and it would probably lead us to where the hags are.
The few that Sej is able to spot, we're talking about a few dozen at this point but they're all starting to go up in the night sky. They're actually starting to break because you are in this little gardened off area with this large tree cutting off most of the skyline on one side, and there are some lower form buildings on basically encompassing you in like a U shape. But once it starts cracking and getting high enough Sej, yeah, you see about 2 dozen or so of these little mody wisps that kind of spiraling slowly up into the air.
And I assume they look.
Something is devouring energy up there.
I assume they look different from the actual like wisps that we encountered.
Yeah, they don't look like the
Okay,
wisps
I
we
was just
saw
making
in the
sure.
swamp, but it's basically to represent,
Gotcha. So,
yeah.
some energy of some
But
sort.
it is all of but they are definitely in that color associated with the maze. So they're being drawn up towards the maze.
Would we have seen anything like
Souls are
that while
getting
we were
sucked.
there?
What, in the maze?
Yeah, would we have seen those
You would
types
have
of wisps?
seen, yeah, you would have seen wisps and stuff floating around
Okay.
off in the distance as they were actually entering the maze proper. Because you guys were essentially, you guys don't know where you were, but you were kind of like on a portion, some sort of structure that was where the scribery stayed to jot down all of your memories and keep that knowledge. So, yeah, as these moments pass, you're starting to hear more screams and yells off in the distance, and they're starting to get louder and louder. The background illumination from the distance is starting to get more and more sources of this blue teal light.
The ground under us is getting more and more uneasy.
Yeah.
Like I said, something is coming.
So do we stay to meet it, or do we try and get out of here?
We need to go end it.
Farewell.
Towards that laughing, huh?
Sure.
Lead the way, friend.
I'm gonna pick my pack up right where I'm standing,
Huh?
and I'm gonna lead the way.
Okay. Yeah. Uh, so
I was
said.
putting important stuff in chat, by the
Mm,
Yeah, you
way.
gotcha.
marginally important.
Okay. So yeah, as you know, the press rock as Al was kind of prestidigitation cleaning your, Dregnar off a little bit. So as you start listening and burn point, and essentially you lead the menagerie out from the central bounty as the ground underneath is warped and ripped upwards, however unable to dislodge itself as the massive network of thick roots is anchoring this place into the ground. The damaged tree is still buckling and swaying. However, it's not yielding. Uh, it's still scorched and damaged from the lightning and the holy fire. You step out and you're seeing that
Before
there.
anything happens, a
Mhm,
bangle that's on my trunk, like towards the bottom of it, my trunk dangles pretty low, right? And
mhm,
there's like a clasp on it,
mhm.
emblazoned of the sun. I'm gonna touch it with a cantrip of light, so I have like a light
Okay,
source all the way around us. It's 20 feet.
perfect. Okay, cool. So, 20 feet, nice illumination, and then another 20 feet dim to kind of help counteract with this pale light from the moon.
Yeah.
I
As
will
you guys
step
come,
out of the light.
yeah, you go 20 feet away. I get you. You just want to be ready. I get what you're doing. Um, as you like leave the proximity of the tree, there is a very much a noticeable. There was already a drop in temperature when the sun kind of poofed out of the sky or dropped from the sky. It's even colder outside. Like it's not like where you see your breath, but it definitely is like another 10 to 12 degrees colder Fahrenheit. So, was that like 5 degrees or so? Not at 5 degrees, 4 degrees Celsius cooler as you step further away from the tree. But you're managing and, you're able to walk through the city as you wish. However, just keep in mind that the terrain is getting warped and buckled. There's chunks of earth starting to just kind of get ripped and sucked up. Buildings are starting to like fall over and get pulled up. And as you're walking, you see like some of the people that are just mindlessly carrying either on post or were their last task. Some of them begin as they get closer. Let's say as some of them like approach one of these shrines, you see that the symbols are that were carved are glowing. Like as brightly, I should say. And as they start to like wander closely, you start to just see them just kind of, for lack of a better term, as they get closer and approach in the zombified state, they start to like themselves essentially wither as you see them rapidly, for lack of a better term, exteriorly rapidly age and then just collapse, and then you see like the jaw open, and then this moat just start to float up.
If I see anybody approaching that shrine that hasn't essentially died or whatever yet, I'm gonna just try and force them away from it.
That's fine. Yeah, I mean they're just moving
Like, no, friend, no,
essentially.
no, don't go that way. No, don't walk towards it. No.
You
Guys,
speak.
they've begun harvesting souls.
Yeah, Davis,
Oh yeah, but
words
I'm
are coming
probably
out.
speaking in Mazecan.
Mhm.
God damn it.
I'm the only one talking in my own language.
Well, it'd be you,
Question.
Dreg, and Karos that speak. Whatever. I guess. Go ahead.
Is a soul a creature or an object?
That's a very deep question.
These are a
Oh yeah.
very yeah. There's
Oh
so many
god.
implications.
It's a
Okay.
fundamental aspect of existence. It's neither. Something different. I'm sorry.
Well,
It's
how will I know how to target one?
can you target? Can you target energy? Is that
Yeah,
something you're
I,
capable of doing?
Not yet. We're not a hag yet.
I mean, he is a Jedi, so.
Yeah,
Dude.
if you can come up with something creative and you can tell me what you want to do, I am more than willing to try to
Absorb
accommodate.
energy, dude. Absorb
yeah,
energy.
I was gonna try to steal as many souls as I could so the hags don't get them.
Just
Only
yoink
half
mine now,
joking.
yoink.
Yeah, no, I get you. I get you.
That one is mine, and that one is mine.
We need
that one
jars
too.
for all of them.
This one. Jars
Ooh,
actually
piece of
would come in
candy.
kinda handy.
If only
Um,
Jarcy was here.
Yep.
What's the magic jar? We need magic jar.
Yeah, but no. Yeah.
You're saying we can't put souls in the bag of devouring.
I wouldn't recommend it.
I mean, it's not an
Essentially,
organic thing.
You don't have the bag
I'm
anyway.
sorry, I'm memeing too much right now. I'm
no,
a
you're
serious
fine.
moment.
Like you guys can try whatever, but like it is essentially for the lack of looking it over. If you were to do a medicine check on it, you can't. It's something else, right? It's not of a living. It is the remnants of a living thing that happens to be visual because of the effects of above. Normally, you
Guys,
wouldn't see these.
sorry, Adam.
Go.
Guys, Drag will go. I don't think we can do much here. We need to get to the source and stop it and save as many as possible. We can't save everyone.
I mean, maybe it'll reverse this. I don't know. Yeah, let's. God damn it, we gotta go.
I know it's not going to do anything, but um, I would be clutching my coral at this point because it's the last time I'm in the maze, and just like saying some words to my turtle friend.
Buna.
And I'm gonna while I'm doing that, I'm gonna have Pebble just try to interfere with the soul, any soul she sees flying away while I say a
Yeah.
prayer.
Yeah. So as Pebble kind of whoops and tries to essentially, I don't know, catch a soul, she just flies right through it. It's an incorporeal thing. Keeps drifting.
Adam, can we hear the laughter?
You can hear the combination of laughter and screams kind of echoing through. So like the screams are in a much muted state. It is essentially as a person gets a little too close to one of the symbols and their soul they start to scream as they start to rapidly age and their soul gets harvested.
Gotcha.
The cackling is
I'm assuming the hags.
traveling, most likely, yes.
I'm gonna bamf on top of the nearest building that's within my 60 foot and see if I can see anything from up there.
Okay, so as you do, Dragnar just kind of steps into that little column of shadow that it kind of slurps up to meet him, and he spits himself up. Go ahead and give me a perception check, Dragnar. Actually, since you're on the high ground, I can give you advantage.
Nice.
So what is that, 17?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so 17. As you're looking, it's going much faster than you were expecting. It's more rapid, more rapid, more rapid. Like originally you were seeing, 1, 2, 4 dozen this souls. The sounds of the screams were kind of distant and far away. Now you're starting to see up here that there's just these beacons of light coming from essentially everything, and then you're starting to kind of remember from your outliner feat. There's a shrine, there's a shrine, there's a shrine. Oh shoot, that's where they carved the symbol. That's where they must have carved a symbol. Literally every single point where there's this hook symbol, if someone gets close to it, that is affected. They are withered. And you're just starting to see the denizens that were unable to leave start just in the distance, and there's more and more, and this light just begins to intensify and grow, and in some places you're starting to see almost like this reverse god beam, essentially, like from the ground up, this like blue peel tail light, almost like a column of energy started to like make its way up, and it's starting to like crest above the tallest buildings, which not that tall here. It's 20, maybe the tallest one's like 25 feet in Green Hill. And there's just these like off to the distance, like everywhere you're seeing, like as you're looking around, it's kind of centralized, right? If we go on you guys, if we go here, I know it's not the most accurate, but if we super zoom in, right, you guys are essentially here, and Dregnar is, so you're more central, and as you're looking north, east, west, south, you're just seeing more and more, and the sound is starting to get louder and louder. The screams start echoing and filling. And keep in mind, Green Hill had a population of, I think it was like 5,000, maybe more. Let me actually look at my city notes. Actually, I should be more up to date on this, but I forgot. Cities, Green Hill, population, a living population of 4,000 to 5,000 people. And you start, Dregnar, as you start kind of looking out, you see, how do I put it? You hear footsteps off to the distance, more heavy starting.
Like coming towards us or going away from us?
In this case, we'll say, I'll say towards y'all because they saw the, yeah, towards y'all.
I'll my mental link. I'll say incoming. Not sure what, but it's got heavy footsteps. And then I'll stay on the rooftop and kind of parallel the group as they're moving.
Okay, perfect. What's everyone doing as Jagnar kind of says incoming?
I'm gonna
We
check.
like,
Go ahead.
are we like on like going down a street? Like, is there rooftops on the other side too?
Yeah, that you're essentially, you left the central harvest. There's buildings and warped ground all around you. So like there's plenty of chances for like you and Dregnar to bamf and jump onto like little chunks of rock that are floating 10, 15 feet up in the air and stuff as well.
Okay, I'll do that on the other side just to give us advantage from both sides and keep
Okay.
pace with people.
Oh,
And I could just have Pebble circling around, keeping her out for anything weird.
Okay.
I
I'm
was-
gonna keep pressing on. Not steadily, not too fast. In the streets, I don't have any cool movement techniques. I'm just moving through the crowd briskly,
Yeah, so
Yeah.
as
running out of
you guys are
time.
kind of, yeah, moving together and they, minutes are passing in, a few minutes have passed, Dregnar and Rocket, you guys are like higher, you start to see, more and more just like these columns essentially start swirling and moving up, and there's more energy being funneled up in different points. The cackling, all of you start to just kind of hear, start echoing through louder. The met with and amplified by the screams of all the people that are, having their souls ripped from their energy, their potential energy just expunged into the air, and their bodies wither and fall onto the ground. Uh, but you guys are kind of hoofing it through town. Let's find. Thought I had a better map for this.
As we do this, I do want to check in with Al and be like, hey, come on, come here. Like, you're here now. Like, let's try and get over this. See if you can fight your way through this. Come on.
Leading up to that, Al keeps muttering to himself. It sounds like it's an amazing cancer. Davis can understand. He's trying to egg himself on, just like, no, you're here. You've practiced. This is fine. It's fine. You've trained for this. What the fuck is going on? He's kind of freaking out a little bit. Like when
Oh yeah.
Dragnar said incoming, he
Mm-hmm.
drew himself real fast and he's looking around sporadically like, what?
Gotcha.
Um,
Actually,
he's like,
it's probably right around that time where you can give me a wisdom save at disadvantage.
Is there any
fantastic.
way that I can help him? Actually, well, yeah. Is there
I
any
mean,
way? So that's one of the reasons I kind of wanted to just be like they're just kind of like, like they're staring with kind of like his head in my hands, be like, come on, man, come on, push through this. I know you got this.
Go ahead and give me a
Is the
persuasion check. Based on how well you do, I might give Al a bonus.
Okay, sure. Persuasion. Ooh, that's good. Total of 26.
This
Okay.
is what friends are made of.
All right, Al, you can do a straight roll on the wisdom save.
Yay!
ooh.
Also, I think you have an inspiration still, so don't forget that.
I also have 3 luckies. So this is gonna be the one. We're fucking
But
committing.
you technically
Okay.
won it at disadvantage then.
That's true. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So what is the hell am I rolling? Just a wisdom save. There we go.
Wisdom save
Straight.
straight.
14. Fuck me. I'm gonna use a luck.
So, in which case, me helping you actually made it worse.
Well, inspiration can be used on anything, right? I guess lucky
Yes.
can as well.
Yeah.
I'll
It,
burn the inspiration because I
lucky is
held up
technically
to.
better than inspiration.
Yeah, inspiration is hold it.
Oh, right. Because I can choose the
Or
better of the
yeah,
two.
sorry.
Yeah, you can choose the better of the three if you lucky it. Because you roll at disadvantage, you
I'll
roll a third, and then you pick whichever.
I'll burn the lucky. I got like a 1 in 3 chance.
Burn.
Burn an inspiration.
Burn
Same.
You want to burn your inspiration first.
inspiration. So
Lucky's
yeah,
better for when you
Oh.
have a disadvantage. You get to
Yeah.
choose from 3.
Okay. Okay. I'll use the inspiration. I rolled the
Okay.
same thing, so I'm still at
14.
14.
Okay. There's something getting to, but it's just not enough to shake it. Unfortunately, they got another hour. Rough stuff.
Al, take my inspiration roll again.
What? Whoa! You can
Yeah.
double dip.
Yeah, I'll allow it.
It flew off the table.
That's a good sign, I think.
So
14.
energetic.
Oh! I have a +1, so it's 15.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. I thought you
I was
rolled
rolling.
a
I was rolling unlucky 13. I literally rolled 13, 13, 14. Holy
Okay.
shit!
So yeah,
Jeez.
Dragnar's inspiration
Thank you, Dragnar.
kicks you
He's
through.
like, ow.
Dragnar yells, "Snap the fuck out of it!"
That's weird. When
As
I
you-
said that, it didn't work.
Yeah, but you don't have the glorious beard.
That's
what's
true.
missing.
That's true. My beard.
If you had the
doesn't
Pride
exist.
Gnarly beard
Shining,
going.
shining like a beacon in this hellscape. The beard pulls me through.
Yeah, the beard, the all too powerful beard. All right, so Al, as it finally like Dave is talking to you, and then you're just, like trying, and then Ragnar just snaps at you, and you're like, I'm good, I'm okay. I don't
Okay,
want the angry
okay.
dwarf at me.
Sorry. No, y'all are right. Y'all are right. There's a lot going on. He's still speaking in Maze Can't.
Yeah. So yeah,
You're right. You're right. We gotta get this together. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go.
So as you guys are kind of into town, you get to further kind of trekking, traversing together. Dregnar, keenly aware of the heavier footsteps, the footfalls, kind of. Let me. What you see, Dregnar and Rock, is you guys are kind of both up, kind of scouting before, and the sounds are starting to get louder. There's the whooshing sound now, just kind of in the air, as there is enough energy getting pulled up. There's this general sense, and says you really notice it. This smell of like when people say like when it's burning ozone, that like energy smell in the air. Everyone like your hairs are kind of standing on end as you're in this essentially siphon of souls, this massive siphon. And as you kind of look up, you see this the moon is just continuing to like kind of fracture and crack. However, something that you'll pick up is none of even the very first set of motes still have not made it all the way up. They're very slowly starting to kind of drift and get closer and closer. As 5-10 minutes of kind of passively doing this, and you're hearing the echoing footsteps of large footsteps. Dregnar, what you're seeing up on top, there are essentially the giant kin and the ogres are marching through, uh, heading towards y'all and towards the central mounty. Uh,
I will relay that to everyone and say, do we want to avoid them so we can try to find the hags quicker?
Telepathically, I assume I will say.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'll just say, if we can avoid them and get there faster, then lead the way.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll kind of look at Rock and say, okay, I think it's this way. What about you?
okay, the both of you can give me survival checks. Try to pin out the path.
Although I will say the bond will eventually stop because it's an hour, right? And I don't think we want to wait another 10 minutes for it to be recast.
15 for survival.
Nice.
I
There's
got a
crap.
9. Crap.
9. Okay. You're just so focused on keeping your group safe and protected, Dregnar, that you're a little bit more concerned on their well-being in the situation. Rock, as you're kind of looking, taking in the environment, taking in the situation, the warping landscape around you. You listen and you hear the cackling, the laughter, and it's just from where you guys were. If you remember, Central Bounty was like center and west side. It's just it's leading towards the center. It's leading towards that middle of town, that portion of Green Hill where there was a lot of boulders, there was a lot of damage, where the Adventurers League was fallen. It's coming from that direction.
I'll follow you guys.
Ooh, that's a good one. Nice one, James. It's a good picture. So yeah.
Yeah, I'd lead towards it then.
Okay. So if you guys are going quickly, then just we'll go. If you guys are doing anything to not be detected, this would be when you guys can start rolling me some stealth checks.
Fuck
Here,
that.
I'll close the door for you.
I'm not.
When we
I don't give a shit about stealth right now.
No, I'm
Karos,
gonna.
Yeah, I'm sprinting. I assume they'll
We're
follow.
late for a very important date. If they're sprinting, I'm on it.
Listen to you already.
Carlos will say he'll mind talk to everyone to when we strike, let's try to focus our efforts, quickly put the odds in our favor. We don't know how much stronger they are, or if they're even stronger because of this ritual, just in case they're siphoning some of the power off for themselves.
Well, you guys are going to do that. What I'm going to try to do is eliminate one from the battle by keeping them grappled or on the ground.
I hear that.
So as
So,
you guys move very quickly, trying to like, as a essentially sprint forward, you guys are booking it. Dragnar, obviously you have to like run and kind of slow down, take minutes to, the the surroundings and
Slowpokes.
let you allies kind of catch up.
yeah, what I was going to
But
do is kind of when I got ahead, I'd kind of scout and make sure, look at where the giant king and the ogres are, and make sure we're going to take a route that's going to avoid them but get to where we're going.
gotcha. So
Like,
go ahead and give me another perception check as you're doing this. Nice. Okay. So there is a visual that you were not expecting to see. You start hearing like the sounds of like yells and grunts and impacts and um people dying as well. However, it's not to the harvesting. It's not to the souls. There are ogres and giants fighting, and then you're trying to look at it, and you're seeing specks and of red, of flourishes of red, flourishes and paint of red, and this the 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 people that have been affected by the red are going nuts, and they are just in this side conflict attacking, and then you see that one giant that was laying in the river that one time. He seems to be leading them, just like, and you see him like pulling up his hand and then just like whooshing it forward, and this red crackling lightning just swafts through and just cuts through like 3 or 4 ogres all at once. Seems to be more fighting going on somewhere else.
Okay, I'll relay. Apparently, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Red guys are fighting the other guys.
And then I will actually, what screen do I have y'all left on? I have you on this one. Okay, so let me grab this. Dragnar. Let me make, uh, he's on the wrong layer, so give me 1 second. But essentially, let's blow this guy up so you can kind of see him. That's your giant friend. He's
He looks
bloated
lovely.
and, you know, he's maybe not with the staff and everything, but this is like heavily inspired. So, we're talking like a proper full giant. However, he's bloated and he's like etched gnarled symbols into his flesh that are like bleeding. And he's just wielding this chaotic red energy that you've seen on the other side. Yeah, and there just seems to be like this essentially this maddening crazed swarm of affected people just crashing into ogres. And they don't seem to be affected by the siphoning process.
Okay, keep going ahead and mentally project. That guy could use the Hydra heart.
All right, put it back on the other layer. So yeah, so as you guys are running and running, for the sake of it, since Dragnar is scouting, Rock is survival, let's do who's the least stealthy out of all of you? Is it?
Probably me. Nah, because I'm disadvantage, so my
Well, no,
natural will
yeah,
be -3.
yeah. I think it's gonna be either Sej or I can't remember. And I forgot to pull up y'all's character sheets. That is something I forgot to do. Good
It's a
job. Yeah,
definitely Al. Al's the least
yeah.
stealthy.
Al is the least stealthy out of all of you.
Oh, don't make
Sure.
me roll. I'll kill the whole team. Oh no.
Yeah, I know, right?
I mean, my passive is 7,
Yeah,
so I
so
think it's
fine. I'm trying to see passive. Here, I got it. It's probably gonna come down to Rock or Rock is a 0. Sej is a 1. Okay, Rock. Go ahead and roll me a d20.
Are you still trying to pick the least?
Yes.
I mean, it would still be me. I'm at heavy armor, so I'm at disadvantage, right? So it'd be
Yeah,
minus.
but I'm just doing.
Oh, you're just doing the natural dex score.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, you would be -3. I get that, but
You said roll a
Okay.
d20?
yeah, just a d20, please.
Okay, well, I rolled a 20.
Woo!
Surprise!
Bow, bow, bow.
You guys are. There's portions of this like journey, this running, where Dregnar like looks and sees, and he's like, there is no way we are gonna avoid this conflict because it is hundreds of these crazed, mad people being led by this bloated, over I don't know, this giant essentially that's swollen and even larger size. There's no way to avoid this conflict of these ogres and giants fighting off these crazed reds, and you just dart. Dragnar just leads y'all through the conflict, and somehow y'all just manage to avoid getting entangled in that. Maybe you have to shove someone off of you, or get behind. It doesn't impede your journey at all, and y'all are just able to book it. Nice roll, all the way.
I'm gonna dim my light before we have to like trudge through crowds and be
No,
sneaky,
understood.
obviously.
Yeah. So as you guys are traveling, I need to kind of judge your pace as the earth beneath you is like shifting and cracking and moving. Can all of you roll me dexterity saving throws? Says you're fine.
My dex rolls have always been really good, and I'm not very good at dex. That's crazy.
So far, all of you are fine.
Can I use athletics?
No,
For a
because it's
save?
dex. No, it's a dex save, not a tech check.
Nah, 20 bitches.
I
Nice.
rolled the exact opposite of a nat 20.
A 1.
Oh, you just had a nat
Okay.
20.
A 21?
Yeah, exactly.
A 21? So
Yeah,
everyone is. Go ahead.
that's a nat 1. I face plant.
Yeah, yeah. So everyone is traversing fine. Y'all are kind of in the zone essentially. When the going gets tough, you kind of rise to the situation. That's the mettle of a hero, or people that are going to be recognized as heroes if they survive. And you are focused and dodging and weaving and getting through. All around you, you're seeing these poor zombified people as they tread too closely to one of the shrines. They just kind of wither and fade and fall over. And Rock, you're starting to like hop and skip, and you kind of miscalculate. With one of the bounds is like this debris is starting to float up, and you think it's going to be able to support you, and you land on it, and then all of a sudden you just, it's like it itself, the piece of that little earth mote just kind of tumble, like shift to the side, and you lose your bearing, and you fall a good 20 some feet, uh, taking.
Is it
Uh,
possible as I'm falling to be like, fuck, and to recover and not cost us anything? Can I Misty Step?
Yes, I was gonna say you couldn't. Yeah, I was gonna say
You
if he
also
didn't roll a
float.
natural one, I no, I was gonna say if he didn't roll a natural one, I would let him float.
Oh, fair enough.
So, but yes, you are. If you want to, you can spend a spell slot and Misty Step, and as you're falling, catch yourself and keep going.
Yeah, I will do that.
Okay. So for this brief moment, as you guys kind of hear, "Wah!" and he bamps himself in front of all of you. something you all see is the portions of rock shell that are exposed, that are not covered in, his things, the etchings and the glyphs and all that have manifested on his shell. They're tingling, glowing.
They're what?
They're glowing.
Oh, okay.
You the devil.
They're reacting
Oh,
to what is going on.
heck yeah! I
Are,
get to be
are,
eating rock
are
again.
they blue
Yes.
like the gems or the crystals?
Or the maze.
More of the teal and the pale blue and teal, less of the like the blue,
So like
more
the
of like
Necro Tower.
the maze. Yeah, more like the maze. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I hadn't seen that.
Well, no,
Well,
I
Greg
haven't
had
seen
seen
Yes.
it.
Yeah. But for you guys, yeah. So Dregnar, yeah, they're bluish. But for those of you that have been exposed to the maze, they're more of the maze color.
Do I feel any different, or am I just glowing?
Your shell's been glowing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you almost fell down.
Yeah. And you
Feel
keep
like you're
running.
down a spell slot.
Yeah.
So Marika, as I like bamf back in, and the thought goes through my head. Oh, no one saw that.
Yeah. It
We
was
can
a
hear
little
you.
orb.
Shit.
Your little orb is starting to like float around, this entire time. I love the visual of things, and then his little broken engine just kind of figurating, looping around him wherever it feels like, going up to his staff, just looping, keeping up with you. Sure. All right. So as you guys are moving forward, not losing any time, no one taking any damage, no one actually you guys are avoiding shit. This is kind of cool. Uh, you hear the conflict in the background. You hear the whooshing, swirling sounds of people losing their lives and their souls being siphoned up. So as you look up again, just instinctively trying to, figure what is happening and try to keep the pieces together. Um,
Keeping my eyes peeled on this pale blue light.
yeah, pale blue light. And as you're, rushing towards the center with your group, where there are the more damaged and heavily ruined, this portion of Green Hill, where essentially the center of it, the heart of Green Hill, um, was utterly just obliterated. Like there are outside of the boulder fields, this is the highest concentration of those boulders. And some of them are massive. We're talking like boulders that, would be difficult for a giant to carry boulders. Um, and all of them, as you're running by them, they have all those glyphs and those runes of all various types. They're starting to kind of glow and react to all the energies. And as you're starting to see like the columns of light and, well, say souls for the lack of a better term, start stretching forward, they start to get up to a certain point, and says as you're watching, they're not able to reach all the way up, and there seems to be another force that starts to be drawing them down. And as you're looking, all of them are starting to just kind of get swooped back down and are starting to arch into the central location. Essentially, imagine almost like this oversized, multi-ringed, tiered layer of like Stonehenge, of just like ogre boulders and giant boulders slammed into this field of ruin and debris.
And they're absolutely glowing.
Yes, and even some of them, as you're starting to like run by them, some of them have actually levitated English and are just being like suspended. And as says, like I said, as you're looking up, you see that the very first souls or whatever you want to call them are starting to now arch back down and start to come back towards, and you're looking at it. Yeah. Eh, eh,
It's still souls
DM
or
slip.
whatever.
Yeah, whatever. DM slip. Uh, they're starting to be sucked back into the center of town.
There's a lot of energy happening right now. I say over the mental field.
Yeah, let's get in there. Fuck it up. We gotta disrupt this.
Let's buck it up. So as you guys are running, again, somehow managing to avoid that, it is becoming difficult to move just because, you guys are naturally just kind of being slowed down by the the force is pulling and ripping at the ground, and there are places where there's just a fissure, a gap, and some of you need to figure out a way to get around it, or need your friends to kind of help, get you on the other side. An interesting thing that's happening though, the river Sly, as these fissures are, removing land, water is beginning to replace it and kind of fill and flood, and it becomes this like weird, you know, just extra waterways essentially are developing, and there's the earth motes floating. And then you hear all of you just like the cackling and laughter, and you see off to the distance, amongst the ruins where some of the boulders are starting to kind of float and all that. Um, you're seeing the light amplify and grow, and then there's like the floating boulders a good under 200 feet, but it seems to be where it's centralized because like you see off to the distance, it seemed to like almost stop, and then this is almost possibly where the sound of this cackling and laughter is. And again, 200 or so feet off away from you guys.
You say the hag is about 200 so feet away? Or
Give me a
hag-like
perception.
figure, I guess.
Wait, give me a perception check to see if you can make somebody out.
Okay.
It's kind of bright. Yeah, you see one, not two, but three individuals in close proximity to one another amongst the floating boulders.
So they're in the air.
Yeah, they're essentially keeping themselves not aloft. They're using the earth that's kind of shifted, and the boulders are kind of surrounding them around them. Anyone got anything?
Guys, there they are. They're floating right there.
Adam, I got a
They have to be channeling what's going on here. Right there.
Anyone, real
What?
quick, anyone who has the ritual caster, so what is that? That's Al, Rock, and Sej. Go ahead and give me spell casting checks. So it'd be wisdom, yeah, essentially Al, charisma plus proficiency, d20. Rock, intelligence plus proficiency, d20. And then Sej, wisdom plus proficiency,
Just
d20.
add your
And then
spell
what's up,
attack.
James? Basically, yeah.
Do I get to go because I'm a ritual caster?
Oh, you do
Oh, you
technically get ritual casting.
are.
Yeah, wisdom for you.
20 total.
I rolled a 2.
17.
17.
What are they doing?
Al, they're up to something. Dregnar, they're definitely up to something. Your friends are right. Sej and Rock, this is the ritual. This is them sucking and doing everything. This is them. This is the focus of the energy, the pull. This is what is making all this happen, killing all these people, driving this entire engine of rebirth. And as it is, you also now look up and you start seeing what Sej saw earlier. You start seeing those motes of life energy, the soul start being instead of going straight up, now start arcing and starting to converge and start trickling down this way towards y'all, who are happen to be in the center of town.
So is there a path to
You
get to
feel the
them
shift.
for those of us who can't like fly and
I
stuff?
mean, yeah, you would basically be like starting to
Bouncing
have
from.
to traverse the earth motes and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm running straight at them. I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the initial ones are small enough where it's like it's no dex check required. So just like kind of landing and keeping running in that, but eventually it'll start maybe becoming more and more difficult.
So yeah, Adam, I'm gonna be using a combination of Step of the Winds, my shadow ability, and just getting up there.
Understood. So are you trying to get there before anyone, Dregnar, or are you waiting for your friends to be
I
able?
am gonna try to get there before anyone because I have an idea.
Okay.
I have also an idea.
Okay.
And I will tell you what my idea is now, Adam, and that way, and I'll actually tell everybody telepathically. I'm grabbing one and we're going for a ride off the edge of that rock they're floating on.
Might I surprise them before you do that?
Go ahead.
Keep in mind, he is way faster than you. If he is going full out, he is way faster than the rest of the group.
I don't have to reach them for what I want to do. Are we still? We're provided we're still moving, right?
Yeah, you guys are
For like
moving,
breakneck
and you're,
space.
I would
How
say
far are we at this moment? This
I would say at
specific
this
moment as
point
he
we'll
does.
call this the eyeballing the 150 feet away or so. So literally, Drake can get there in
Perfect.
seconds.
I'm gonna take a pinch of my sulfur out of my like little satchel of sulfur I had.
Okay.
Take it in my hand, blowing it, and like a baseball player, I'm gonna sling a fireball at him.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, this moment he just gonna grabs it, and this little bit of sulfur just super heats. I kind of imagine it with your trunk for some reason. I don't know. However you wish to chuck it,
Hey, that
but
works. Yeah. I was
yeah,
thinking
kind
with
of.
my hand, but with my trunk like a baseball player though. I'm gonna
Yeah, I
lob
get
it because it's
just
gonna have to have like a little bit of an arc. I'm assuming at
yeah,
literally the max distance.
I get you. So yeah, as you all see the Sage kind of he has to slow down because he can't keep sprinting with you because he's like gathering his energy. It's and you all look back, and then as you look back, this bead of light just darts through. Dragnar, you're running, and you're thinking you're about to just ditch the group as you're giving this, and even you catch this bead as you're starting to break off from the group, and then you just concussive as it expands. Go ahead and roll. Are you doing it at third level or what?
Yes, I'm doing it
You
third level. Yes.
third level. Okay, so roll me 8d6 and mark off your spell slot.
Marked off spell slot. Rolling that now in D&D Beyond. I got a 23.
All right. Give me 1 second.
Almost
Because
exactly
apparently,
average.
let me, at least for now, let me set something up. Give me 2 seconds.
Actually, while all that's happening, just because I don't know whenever I'm going to use it, I'm just going to chug my elixir of adamantine blood and make my AC 18. Yeah.
Okay. So kind of at the same queue as, uh,
Yep. When they're talking
yeah,
about, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm like, well, okay.
yeah. So it does slow you down also a little bit, but you're fine. Okay, so let me do Theater of the Mind map. Not super Theater of the Mindy, because it's got a grid. But
Adam, I will also have engaged rage.
okay, so that'll justify you being slowed down a moment. Okay, let me actually, if you guys don't mind, because apparently I didn't set up the grid on the maps and everything that I need. Let's go ahead and take a 10-minute break real quick.
I'm good with that.
Go.
Mike, I want some water.
As the fireball, let's get some beverages, go to the bathrooms, and we're about to get in the thick of it.